Hello, my name is Ben Hariri, and this is for my AP European History project, and today I'm going to be talking about the rise of the dictators before the Second World War. Wait a minute. Oh man, my beard is really bad. I'm gonna go shave. Hold on. Alright, that is a lot better. I hope it doesn't grow back by the time this thing is over. First, let's talk about Adolf Hitler.
Nein, 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 nein!
Sorry about that. Adolf Hitler, a former army corporal who was a failed artist. But first of all, you have to ask yourself, how could this guy become the leader of a nation? First, let's talk about it through an economic perspective. Germany had undergone a massive change with the Weimar Republic and rapid inflation. This was between 1922 and 1923. After some good years due to American loans, the Wall Street crash was really what devastated the German economy. How bad was it? Well, hobo fires in Germany consisted of stacks of $100 bills, or in this case, marks. With Germany in this weakened state, Hitler and the Nazis took over and promised for a better Germany and for better economic prosperity. After his election in 1933, he introduced public works projects and rapidly expanded the military.
Nein, 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 nein!
Now, from a political perspective. He was sentenced to jail in 1924, but it was only about for 9 months. Until that point, his party only had about 55,000 members and 15,000 SA. For the next 5 years, his party grew. Because of the economic difficulties, many favored the Nazis over other parties like the Communists. Hitler joined the Nazi Party shortly after World War I and staged a revolt against the Weimar Republic in 1924. By 1932, there were 800,000 Nazi Party members. This was due to his best-selling book, Mein Kampf, where he blamed the Jews for Germany's defeat in World War I and for the economic difficulties of the Great Depression. Oi! By 1932, the Nazi Party held 230 seats in the German parliament. With his radical nationalist views garnering him the support of the German people, Hitler was elected Chancellor of Germany in 1933. I know it's a lot to take in, but wait. Is that Hitler mustache? I've been talking about Hitler too much, it's getting in my head. Oh, on with the next guy. Much better. Now, let's talk about Stalin in the Soviet Union. My personal favorite. Guess that was a bad thing to say.
Bring from.
Oh, you know, vodka. He joined the Bolsheviks in 1903 and became one of Lenin's top men during the Russian Revolution of 1917. One reason Lenin liked Stalin was because he gained him a lot of money because of a bank robbery he did. That's right, Stalin was a bank robber. After Lenin's death in 1924, Stalin became the party general secretary. From a political perspective, Stalin was able to control the Communist Party fully. Poor Trotsky. By 1929, he put all his supporters in charge and became a virtual dictator. He basically manipulated his way to the top, unlike Hitler. At least Hitler was elected. He didn't support the left or right-wing ideals. He only supported one nation under socialism. Throughout his reign, he sent 8 million people to labor camps who he thought were his opposition. With no political opposition, he was free to force the nation to obey his political will. From an economic perspective, Stalin introduced his 5-year plan in 1928. This was done to shift the nation from mainly agricultural to an industrial nation. He doubled both oil production and steel. Most workers in factories lived in terrible conditions and were paid little. He later introduced his collectivization of agriculture. He eliminated private property and turned farms into units. Between 1932 and 1933, 10 million people died starvation, intentional starvation. There were some positives. Education was considered better for jobs, so if you wanted a job, you needed to have a higher education. And if you didn't have a higher education, you'd be paid less. But another one? Maybe I shouldn't shave next time. I kind of look Italian. Speaking of Italian, let's talk about Mussolini. Benito Mussolini gained power in Italy due to its economic turmoil and political disorder. From a political perspective, the Italians wanted more rewards after World War I because they assisted the Allies in toppling Germany. In 1919, after being kicked out of the Socialist Party, Benito Mussolini founded the Fascist Party. He used violent strikes by the squadrizi to invoke his sense of showmanship and power to the people. In 1921, fascists won 35 seats in the Italian parliament, roughly 7%. With government power fleeting, Mussolini threatened to march on Rome. This bluff gave Mussolini the power of prime minister by the king Emmanuel III. A bluff gave him power. Mussolini then enforced new laws and gave 374 seats to his fascist party in the Italian parliament. By 1926, he declared his nation a fascist state and spread his ideals. From a social perspective, Mussolini wanted to spread his ideals so that they would stick in the minds of people. He did this by creating youth military organizations and by rapid spread of propaganda. He allied himself with industrialists and pursued their ideas. He gained the support of the Catholic Church by giving them money, and in exchange, they would support them. This gave him a big advantage because the church was considered a big deal in Italy at the time. In the 1930s, on his authority, women were considered lesser than men and were given the duties of childbearing and homemaking. But in his change, he was never able to combine the military and the monarchy into one whole fascist authority within his nation. In the end, he promised a lot, but really didn't deliver on his promises. In conclusion, Hitler, Stalin, and Mussolini all took control of their nations because they were in a very vulnerable state. Hitler and Stalin were great at being authoritative leaders. Mussolini, not so much. The events of this time period shows how one man can force his way to the top through manipulating and insulting others, and sometimes even killing them. Let's hope this never happens. Alright, I'm done. That's all the time I have. Thank you, Mr. Marina, for this time, and please, get that guy right there. The guy who's smiling right there. Give him a name. He deserves this.